It started as a routine traffic stop and ended in a fatal shooting of another black man by police. 20-year-old Daunte Wright killed on the streets of Brooklyn Center near Minneapolis. A tragic error, says the police chief.
It is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet. This appears to me, from what I've viewed and the officer's reaction and distress immediately after, that this was an accidental discharge.
This all coming as a former police officer stands trial in Minneapolis for the murder of another black man, George Floyd, just a year ago. The mayor expressing his shock at such a twist.
We recognize that this is happening at a time when our community, when all of America, indeed all of the world, is watching our community.
From the White House, President Joe Biden also made clear his frustration.
You all watched, I assume as I did, the film, which is fairly, the body cam, which is fairly graphic. The question is, was it an accident? Was it intentional? That remains to be determined by a full-blown investigation.
Daunte Wright called his mother as it was all happening. The call ended. When she dialed his number again, his girlfriend answered and said he was dead in the driver's seat.
Like a minute later, I called and his girlfriend answered, which was the passenger in the car, and said that he'd been shot.
The shooting acted like tinder on an already volatile situation. Hundreds took to the streets to protest overnight, but some of those protests turned violent. It's been reported 20 local businesses were looted. What's been described as a chemical irritant was used to disperse the crowd, which was growing in numbers and frustration. Police here guarding the local station have had to face off against angry protesters. They've brought in state troopers and the National Guard to bolster their numbers. They've even brought in concrete blocks to secure the area. The local police chief believes that if he's open and transparent, that might diffuse some of the anger. But that might not be enough.
I have 4 African-American boys, so every day as a father, raising boys in America, how do you think that makes me feel? It's terrifying.
But it's not a shocking. I mean, it wasn't shock. This has been happening for over 400 years for us.
A state-level investigation is now underway. The local community wants answers, especially to the question, are things ever going to change? Alan Fisher, Al Jazeera, Brooklyn Center, Minnesota.